everyone, welcome back to another video. And for those of you that are completely new, my name is Kirsten and I am just basically gonna be making this video to update you guys on quite a few things here and there since I last posted any sort of videos. I think it's been a total of at least 3 weeks, perhaps, maybe almost about a month from now, something crazy like that. So there's definitely been quite a lot of things that have changed since I last posted some videos and whatnot. And of course, before I also get started, this is my dog Jasmine in the background. See that little cutie right here? I'm just babysitting her for today over my house, and that's all I'm doing at the moment. My camera is not focusing on my face too well. Oh, okay, there we go. Pretty random, I would say. So there's been a lot of mixture of a lot of things that has happened since I last updated, and of course last time I posted there has been quite a bit of changes that ended up happening recently. Some small, some big, some I just basically thought I would update you guys on. So as you can already tell from the start of this video, this is going to be a rather rambling type of video. So if you guys are into that, please do stick around and watch if you would like to. And if not, that is totally cool. That is totally fine. I just thought I would make a quick video to let you know what's ultimately going on and that kind of like. So I just thought I would go ahead and point that out. So without further ado, let's finally get started into a couple of things that have been happening into my personal life recently. So as I have mentioned before, a lot of changes has happened into the whole expand of like just a month. Again, some of it is good, some of it is bad. So right off the bat, I just want to go ahead and mention a few negative things before I mention the positive things at the very end. So bad news first, and then some good news last. So, you know, you get like a terrible story with like a really good ending. So that's the way I like to, you know, split good news and bad news, because some people like to hear the good news first over like the bad news, and I thought I would kind of like switch it around to kind of make it a lot more better, I should say. So I know that was a bit random and weird for me to say that out loud, but I just thought I would go ahead and mention that before I went ahead and just poured my heart out to you guys and all that kind of stuff. So okay, so bad things that have been kind of happening into my personal life. Obviously there is quite a bit of drama going on into my personal life, which is why I have been pretty quiet on my social media as of lately. I'm not going to get into any sort of detail about it, at least I hope you guys don't mind, because it is just, the only thing I can say is that it's personal family drama. So as much as I am an open book about sharing you guys like personal things about some parts of my life, there are just some parts I just like to keep private, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna bother to go into any sort of detail about that. The only thing I can say is that it's not too pretty and I'm not too happy about that. But so yeah, that's what's been happening into my personal life as of recently. And then of course, if you guys have followed me on Instagram, you guys have known that I basically posted a picture recently of my dad and my mom and myself when we were all very young. Myself as a child, and then my mom and dad when they were in their 20s. And for some of you that may or may not have known, sometime during July 16th, that is the actual date that my dad unfortunately passed away. And it's now, by the time I upload this video, last week or so has been like his 5th anniversary of him passing away. So I just really wanted to dedicate the time to myself taking a break from that, because I feel like the whole entire month of July is just really depressing for that sort of reason alone. So depending on when I absolutely upload this video, will have pretty much passed by now. Whether I end up posting this video in late July or early August, it usually depends. I think it would probably depend on my mood, on when I plan to start uploading videos and everything pretty soon. But I know I mentioned I would take a quick break for like personal stuff in my life, but depending on when I get back, I promise you that normal videos will come out pretty soon. But this is just me just pouring my heart out and just getting things off of my chest and let you know what's going on. So yeah, so drama, and then my dad's death anniversary, which is so depressing, and yeah, definitely not a very good feeling that, you know, somebody you cared about and passing away. So yeah, definitely not fun. That is definitely for sure. But moving on to something else, while I was taking quite a bit of a break on YouTube, apparently there was like a video that I posted in the past. For those of you that don't know, long before I ended up reaching, I think, hundreds of subscribers at some point, there was like a video, a series actually, more like a podcast really. I used to start something called Sinful Sundays, which is basically like horror related topics that I could talk about during that time. So I just thought it would be like a fun, unique little idea to kind of like express in those podcasts. Like basically during that time, I thought it was a good idea to express like horror and creepy related stuff, whether that would be like creepypastas, horror movie reviews, horror TV show reviews, horror anime, creepy stuff that's been based on a true story, creepy urban legends, that kind of thing. I thought it would be like really cool to incorporate like horror related elements into like one podcast in particular, which I thought it would have been a good idea at that time. And I ended up discontinuing the series simply because I just got tired of it and I feel like it was a bit repetitive, so that was the reason why I ended up quitting. I mean, now I can probably focus on like horror movie reviews now from time to time, but other than that, you know, I figured I would express that kind of stuff maybe another time and whatnot. But anyway, during the second episode of my Sinful Sundays podcast type of video, apparently there was quite a bit of controversy surrounding that video during that time. And in case if you don't know what video I am referring to in particular, it's a video where I covered disturbing human experimentations that happened in history. And it wasn't so much controversial in terms of like the stuff that I talked about in that video, but it was more controversial in the fact that it made me sound like I was completely illiterate during that time. And I think people were, you know, calling me out and just criticizing like how terrible that video was for me not pronouncing certain words during that time. But to be fair, at that time I felt like I was a bit rushed and that I needed to get certain projects done. And looking back on that video now, I could see why people would call me out for it. So I ended up privating that video simply because I just got tired of hearing the negative comments. And I know a lot of people, you know, when they deal with negative comments, they have like a really strong skin. And believe me when I say this, I know it sounds like it's probably the complete opposite. I do have somewhat of a thicker skin, like negative comments don't bother me so much, but I just got tired of hearing about it, so I ended up privating the video altogether. So there, that basically explains the reason why. So there was no good justifiable excuse to like upload that video when I actually did, because I wasn't really thinking through during that time of like uploading that video. And during that time, it was when I had less than 100 subscribers during that time. Not that many people were viewing that video during that time, and then suddenly, I don't want to use the term blow up, but it got recognized quite a lot, and it was getting attention in like a negative way compared to like other good topics that I've covered in the past. So yeah, anything that I felt like, any sort of videos that I felt like kind of got negative attention, I just basically ended up privating, because I just realized like the errors of my mistakes and that I would not be making these sort of mistakes again. At least I hope that makes any sort of sense, why I ended up doing that to begin with. So yeah, this is basically my personal way of apologizing to people that either I offended or that I, you know, might have mispronounced some things in the wrong particular light. So thank you for those who ended up pointing that out, but for those that were just being nasty for no apparent reason, fuck you. It's very hypocritical for some people to pinpoint some things that somebody does wrong when everybody's capable at some point of making mistakes in their life. So it's really frustrating dealing with people like that. Again, I am not perfect and I don't claim to be, so there's that, I guess. Yeah, just any controversial video that came about in a negative light, I just end up deleting, because not that they're super controversial or anything, it's just some of the criticisms that I end up getting, I'm all like, oh, okay, I get it now. I see why you guys don't like this video, so there's that, I guess. So yeah, that's just minor negative things that have been happening into my personal life. So basically that's just it for like negative stuff, really, that's happened into my personal life. So now that that's out of the way, I can focus on more positive things as of late. Okay, so finally some good and more positive things that have been happening into my personal life as of recently. Obviously, another reason why I ended up taking a break from YouTube is because my brother, his girlfriend, and my little baby niece decided to visit my folks and I during like the 4th of July week, and they ended up staying for like about 10 days or so. So I thought that was really nice that they ended up visiting when they actually did, because I miss them so much, especially my brother and my little baby niece, because I miss them to death. And during that time I haven't seen them since somewhere in October, so it was actually really nice that I had a little family reunion during that time. So I was just really happy to be able to do that. And yeah, that was definitely one positive thing that ended up happening. And let's see, what other positive things do I want to bring up? For some of you that don't know, maybe some of you might have known, but for those of you who don't know especially, I've wanted to do acting for quite a long time, and the thing is I felt bummed out for a while since I first moved back to Indiana, because, you know, the place where I live currently right now, it is a small town per se. So one thing about small towns in particular is that there's not a whole lot of options to do, and there's not very many good restaurants or anything like that around the area that I live in. So I just was researching on places I could go and try to take advantage of like acting opportunities and that kind of like. But then I had a moment where I actually thought about this for a very long time, and I never thought I could be able to do this, but I thought about going back to college again. I mean, it is a complete shocker for me because I haven't been to college since 2017. And the reason why I thought about going back to college, number one, I simply love learning and, you know, taking classes and learning a whole bunch of like really cool subjects and classes and that kind of stuff. So I do miss being able to attend classes and that kind of stuff. So that was one reason why I wanted to go back to college. Number two, there was just a lot of moving around that I ended up doing during that time. Like first I moved from California to Texas, and now I moved from Texas to Indiana, which is my home state that I grew up in for quite some time. So it feels really great to be back home. Also, it wasn't the right time for me to go back to college during that time when I was in Texas because of, you know, my moving situation and just how crazy expensive like the university I wanted to go to during that time was just over the top crazy expensive. It's considered a private university, so it's no complete surprise that it is a bit a pricey place to go to. Like $14,000, over $14,000 per year is a bit crazy if you want to know the truth, but there's that, I guess. So also, third and final reason why I wanted to originally go back to college and pursue my bachelor's degree is because I really wanted to get involved with theater and just, you know, working up my acting resume and that kind of stuff. So I figured going back to college would be a really good opportunity for me because of that reason alone. And I really wanted to take advantage of that when I possibly could, and luckily the university that I want to go to is not too far off from my house, so that is definitely a bonus. I don't have to travel too far to just go to acting classes and that kind of thing. So yeah, just the idea of like going to Chicago and Indy or just in Detroit, it sounded like it was a bit much during that time, and believe me when I say this, it still sounds like it's crazy because both of them are way too far off from where I live, so that explains the reason why. So those are basically like my little updates that I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, there's that. Not much else I could say in that department. I just thought I would let you guys know what's ultimately going on into my personal life, and that's that. Also, a couple other things I wanted to mention before I go ahead and completely end this video right here. In terms of video ideas, my second channel and all that kind of like. Of course, after this video goes up, I promise you that better videos will come out in the future, whether that would be like topics I plan to cover, vlogs, or basic sit down and chats like this, and all that other good jazz. So that is what I plan to do sometime in the future for this channel. I mean, I know I basically say that every single time that I end up returning to YouTube, but still. At this point, it almost sounds like a cliche because, you know, when people say better content in the future, it sounds a bit vague, to be honest, but the only thing I can say is that, you know, there will be more topics for me to cover in the future. And in terms of, like, my second channel, I'm still trying to figure out like my capture card and everything, so that's why I haven't really posted anything on my gaming channel as of yet. But as soon as I get that all figured out, I promise you that Let's Plays and video gaming related topics for that channel will come up very, very soon in the near future, whenever that may be. I can't promise you what day or you know, when that will be in particular, but until then, I can always talk about gaming related topics over there if you guys want to. So if you guys are not subscribed to my second channel already, please go over there to KyrstenTheDarkAngel Gaming. I do plan to upload gaming related content in the future if you guys are interested in checking that out. And since I'm in the topic of like gaming related stuff and that kind of like, I am still thinking about starting live streams sometime in the future, and again, I'm not really promising anything because I'm still trying to figure out like the gadgets and everything, and because I'm like gonna be new to like that whole streaming service and whatnot, maybe I'll go over there on my Twitch sometime in the future and figure out like the gadgets and everything of how Twitch works. So I plan to do that sometime in the very near future. So do stay tuned for that and head on over there and follow me if you guys would like to do that, because streaming is something I'd like to do in the future if you guys are interested in checking that out as well. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for being patient with me. A normal video will be coming out sometime very shortly in the near future. That I do promise you. It's just, I really needed this break for various different reasons because of like personal things in my life and all that jazz. So I hope that kind of clears things up. I hope that gives you a better understanding of my thought process and everything else in this rambling, chatty related video. So I hope that kind of answers everything. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, feel free to ask away or comment in the comment section down below if you guys want to. I would love to get a conversation going. So if you guys also enjoyed this video so much, be sure to sucker punch that like button down below. Or dislike it. Doesn't affect me either way that you guys enjoy certain parts of my content or not. And of course, if you guys would like to see more of my videos in the near future, please do dedicate the time and effort to subscribe to my lovely channel, join my little army of darkness, and if you hit that bell notification icon, you guys will be updated with a brand new video every single time I upload a brand new video. So the subscribe button doesn't seem to mean anything nowadays, so please feel free to do that if you guys would like to see more videos of mine in the future, even though the bell icon doesn't necessarily work half the time. Just thought I would let you guys know. Also, if you guys are interested in following me outside of YouTube, all of my social medias will be listed in the description box right down below. If you guys are, of course, indeed interested in checking them out yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me and everything else like that. Have a completely chill week and awesome day or night. And of course, I will talk to you guys very soon in the next video. So until then, stay completely dark and so fucking brutal and awesome, my friends. Take care and goodbye for now. Take care. Bye, everyone.